Acting is only make-believe. That's why when we're doing scene work, and I hate that word, we'll do things like a telephone. Hello? I mean, what you do in real life is what you have to do on the set and vice versa. So if you use your fingers, you wouldn't have to buy a phone, cell phone, no iPad. You could text your friends on your fingers. But actors do that. They equate acting with make-believe. Guys, it's not make-believe. I mean, I've been in situations where I've been in a workshop and the actors come up and do a scene, and typically they'll say, if they're dealing with money, here, I'll give you 5, 10, 15, and they give them nothing. It's air. Would you do that in real life? Go into Target and say to the person on the way out, how much is that? $35? Okay, well, let's see. Here's 10, 20, 30, 5. You get arrested. They throw you in jail or the funny farm. There's a reason actors do that, because they equate what they're doing as something that they wouldn't do in real life. Because, you know, maybe you're going to be in a movie where you're riding around with Robin Hood, and you think, well, I wouldn't do that. I mean, that's make-believe, that's pretend. But you have to remember, when you get on the set, movie makers do everything they can to make it absolutely authentic. Otherwise, you put cardboard up in the background. Does it have to be real? Well, let's listen to what some outstanding actors like Eli Wallach, we have James Woods. We'll start with Dennis Hopper, and advice that James Dean gave him. Watch this.
So if you're smoking a cigarette, just smoke the cigarette. Don't act smoking the cigarette. So when somebody knocks on the door, you go and answer the door, then you see they've got a gun in their hand. Then he said you get into a moment-to-moment reality situation, and you never presuppose how you're going to react.
Each actor has his own, devises his own method. Kazan would say in my first film, run around the block, so that when you come on and you're out of breath, you're really out of breath.
So now I'm like paying for Bill Hickey to listen to a bunch of like people who've never been in a play in their lives telling me about, you know, Hamlet, right? And I swear to you, the first kid sort of raises their hand and says, you know, it was very well presented and so on, but I didn't get what Hamlet had for breakfast that morning. And I said, you're joking, right? Like, who cares what Hamlet had for breakfast this morning? You know what I mean? It was like all that method crap. And I said, look, this isn't going to work for me. I got to tell you, I mean, I got more important things to do. You know, I mean, I can't sit here and discuss what Hamlet had for breakfast. What are you, nuts?
I always say, somebody would say, oh, they see a movie, they think, oh, Kirk, you were lost in that role. I said, no, you were lost in the role. I wasn't.
They all talked about reality. You got to make it real. If you're going to smoke a cigarette, don't act like you're smoking a cigarette. Everything has to be authentic. So when you work, don't think in terms like make-believe. I'm pretending. An actor came up to me in North Hollywood a week ago, a good guy, works really hard, and he said, I just wanted to ask you from my previous workshop, and I never hear you mention, what's my intention? I said, for what? He goes, well, what's my objective? What's my intention? I said, for what? He goes, to come in the room and talk to this girl. I said, just to come in the room and talk to the girl. I mean, if you have a date for lunch and somebody says, where are you going? I'm going to lunch. What for? I don't know. Do you do that in real life? Or do you say, well, I'm going to lunch with this girl or young guy or whatever the case may be. Maybe an old guy. Well, whatever it is, of course, you absolutely know why you're going there, right? And another word that's always come up that I really can't stand, I talked to my former acting coach, Charles Conrad, shortly before he passed away a couple years ago, in my opinion, the best ever. And Charles agreed with me on the hatred of the word scene. And I remember we were doing showcases, and periodically someone would say at the end of the scene, they'd go, scene. You're going to know when it's the end of the scene. Your mouth will stop moving. I mean, that's a clue. Or the director will say, cut. You don't have to say scene. You know, when the scene ends, it looks like it ends. You know, the actors get up and they walk off the set, right? So always keep it real. Always keep it authentic. It's make-believe, but yet it's not make-believe. What an actor really does is to make everything they do so believable. Like Stella Adler said, acting is believing. And it really is. You have to believe in anything that it is that you're doing. And when that happens, and you listen to the other actor, it's magical. You know what it looks like? It looks like real life. Scene